And I said the most famous family has got to be the Sutters. And from Viking, what a great name, Viking. They come from Viking, Alberta. And they say that there was so many of them. But Gary, one of the brothers, was the best of them all. And he stayed on the farm because one of them had to stay on the farm to work. Yeah. Can I name them?
We should tell them. So Sutters were the hockey players. They're the number one hockey family ever.
Sutter family. And there was Brian, there was Brent, there was Daryl, there was Brandon, the guy that's playing now.
Yeah.
Braden, that name.
Oh, Braden.
Tried to spell that name. And there was Dwayne.
And Rich and Ron.
Rich and Ron, and they were twins. I remember I was at a banquet one time. And we're signing autographs and everything. And the Sutters, they left. They wanted me. I don't know.
Well, you went to, this was like in Viking. This was in
Viking, yeah.
I think
it was
to get a
Viking.
rink, to help get a rink or
Well,
something.
they're involved in one of them are involved in the WHL team. I should
Right.
know that which one because I met them when I was out there. They're involved in the WHL.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Brandon. But anyhow, I'm signing autographs, and what happens in an autograph? 50 people come up, and then you think you're near the end, and then 50. Not that you mind not signing an autograph. So I'm getting really tired, and I'm the only one signing. And I remember the lady come up to me and says, "I'm sorry, Don. That's all you can do right now." And I, oh boy, it's always just, we'll move you to another room. They're going to do a dancing. But it was a great, and I remember they were kidding Rich all the time. He was one of the twins. They were always kidding him all the time. And she said, "Rich isn't eating his meal. He isn't eating it." She said, "Well, pass it down and I'll cut up the food for him," his mom. But it was a great family. They did everything, Ken.
Yeah, from 1982 to 1987, all six brothers played in the NHL.
Imagine that how that'd be like with the mom if she's watching her sons. That would be a tough call.
Do you want me to say what the joke you said that went over pretty
I remember
good?
that. I was going to bring it up.
Well, Dad was up there doing the joke, and he says, how the Sutters, there's six of them playing in the National Hockey League, and he said, if he could just get Walter Gretzky and the Sutters mothered together, we would have an unstoppable hockey team.
She liked that too.
No, I don't think that didn't go over too well.
There was a groan, but everyone
the father
laughed.
didn't like it. He thought it was funny. I remember. I think it was Brian. Yeah, he was the first, Brian. And I remember Ludwig really crushed. He had a bad back, and he crawled off the ice. He crawled, and he got hit in the nose. His nose was broken. His back was, and we were going to interview him, and the blood was coming out of his nose and sweating and everything like that. And I remember I thought, he was going to do the interview because he said he was going to, and here's the blood coming out and the sweat and his bad back crawling off the ice. And the guy, I never forgot, they handed him, one of the runners handed him some water, and he said, "Thank you very much." And I thought, that family is unbelievable.
Good upbringing. Lots
Good
of
upbringing.
manners.
Well, the mom and dad,
Yep.
And
they won. I think that the one thing too is before we get in, I would say they became almost a word in hockey. Like we would say, well, we need a Sutter, and you would know exactly what you meant, or he plays like a Sutter.
Yeah, we need a Sutter on the club.
That's what you mean. It doesn't mean you actually physically need a Sutter brother, but you need a guy that could hit and fight and would never quit and would grind and all that. And that's what what's he playing? Well, he's like a Sutter. And I think the Western Hockey League kind of got their reputation of hockey players being tough.
Yeah,
from
because the
Sutters.
And I wrote a few things down. Gary was the best, like I said. They say he was supposed to be the best fighter. They won 6 Stanley Cups. Brian was Calgary. He's with Boston. He played for Boston. He played for the Hawks. He won the Jack Adams, which is not bad. Daryl Sutter. Daryl won 2 Stanley Cups, and he's coached 11 years. Brent, I think he owns a Red Deer.
Yeah, that was the guy you were saying.
He
won the Memorial Cup. I still think he should still be instead of going like Western, Ontario, and I still think there should be only one coach all the time.
Well, he won, and then he won the gold medal twice 2005, 2006.
The whole family
in
is
the world
unbelievable.
in the World Juniors.
Anyhow, we're doing our little bit. All together, listen to this now. I wrote this down. 5,000 games they played. They scored 1,300 goals, 3,000 points, 7,200 in penalty minutes, and 490, I think 400 fights.
450 fights.
Because they were tough guys too, right? They were, not only could they score, they were tough. Yeah.
They expected everybody else to be tough.
So not only did they were good hockey players, they gave back too, though. I mean, they were always involved. They made good coaches. They were the type of players that you remember you say superstars, questionable in coaching.
Too.
But they made good coaches too because they knew the game so well, right?
Well, they knew, and I mean, nobody's going to tell him what to do. And he won the junior, and when he went to junior.
Yeah, that's like we were saying. You were saying about that. There should be one coach that coaches the juniors. They should get Brent to coach the juniors
because he
time.
knows it.
The reason I say that is, it's altogether different. I went over and I coached in Team Canada and Team Sweden. It's altogether different hockey, and you know they like the guy this year. He knew. He learned about Olympic hockey, and then he's gone. He won't be there next year. He'll be somebody else. But it's Quebec, probably be Western. Guy, he's just learning, and
I think we're the only country that does that. Every country has a dedicated coach. Like Larry Onoff, this was his first year, but he'll be for the next couple of years.
He looked good behind the bench.
Yeah.
And a good hockey player.
And speaking about European or international hockey. People don't remember. Everybody remembers in 1987, Gretzky to Lemieux.
Yeah, I remember he sucked the guy over, and
but
Murphy's coming up.
But we were losing 3-0 in that game.
Yeah, and the guy Howard, God love him, and Tocchet,
and Sutter were the ones that got us back.
We were losing 3-0, and it was the grinder line that got us going. Yeah. I mean, nobody ever.
They got 4 goals that line.
Yeah, well, they didn't want.
They won 6-5, and they were down 3-0. We got the 4 goals, and of course, I think Tocchet and Sutter said, "All right, we're going to kind of take no prisoners, and
we're going to revert to Canadian.
We're going to convert back
ways.
to
Brian set the tone. Brian was the guy that he was the first in the league, and then I think the brothers saw him coming along, and they were going to be like Brian.